Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of my vlog. I'm your host, OZ the Great and Terrible, and I'm super excited for a multitude of reasons. This has been a very, very productive month. I'm also very excited because it's the it is the Lunar New Year, and it's Year of the Tiger. I'm not a tiger, but I don't care. I love tigers, so this, as far as I'm concerned, this is going to be my year. That is good energy that this year is bringing. And with how well this month has started, for the most part, I feel like a good year is ahead of us. So let's mention the one crappy thing that happened in the month of January, and that is that it finally happened. It finally got me. The Omicron, the Cron, the big Rona. I finally did catch it, but thankfully it wasn't that bad. I mean, I was exhausted for a period of 2 straight weeks, so that sucks, but it could have been much worse. I had basically none of the other side effects other than I was exhausted, and I had freaking COVID toes. Did you guys know that one of the least discussed symptoms of COVID is that your toes swell up? I thought it was a side effect of the weird toe fungus that I have from being a runner and the fact that I have athlete's foot going on. I thought that it had just progressed to the point that I had swollen toes. But no, that's a COVID symptom, and it's like the dumbest symptom. But apparently, COVID toes is more common in people who don't have any of the other symptoms, so that makes sense. Kind of. I don't know why COVID would make your toes swell up, honestly. Nothing about this disease makes any sense. I haven't known what's going on since January of 2020. I don't know. I'm just going with it. But that was the only negative. Another positive. So if you guys remember in my last episode, I mentioned that we were having some financial issues at work, and so I was furloughed. The furloughing didn't last very long because I have been back to work for I think it's just now been a full week, and I'm very happy because I really like my job. I don't have very many hours, but that's okay because I want to have hours. I want to have those extra hours to work on art projects. I want to have my workout schedule because I do consider art my main job, but I would like to have a regular, real person, normie job on the side to make sure I'm actually getting some money in and I feel like I'm contributing to society on a regular level. And I think I'm the kind of person where having a routine is really helpful for me. Having a routine that isn't necessarily what I set, where I have to work around that. I think that's actually pretty helpful for me. So, many good things about my job, good environment. I'm happy to be back. So, what else happened that isn't necessarily the big list of things that I got done? Because there's a list. I have a list of things that I accomplished. It was a busy week, a busy month. Every week was busy. Mostly, even the weeks where I was sick, I was focusing a lot on art. So, it's very good January. I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? I did get some commissions this month. I did get some commissions. So that is another happy thing that happened. So without further ado, let's talk about all the stuff that I did just in January. The first thing I should mention is I'm trying to do warm-up sketching or some kind of warm-up preliminary something before I do my main project, and it's partly part of a forum challenge where we're posting a drawing every day. And so I've been doing that every day since the 1st, and for the most part I've been doing like a designated drawing before I do anything else, or just before I do other sketching stuff, and then that's what I'm posting. On some days I haven't quite had time to do a separate drawing, so I'll just post whatever the main project was that day, but I have done some stuff that I'm super proud of that was just like what I was doing before I worked on my comic sketching, and I'll add some pictures in on the side because I did a lot of things with Copic markers that I'm just super happy with. I like what I'm making this month, and I'm always trying to get better. I always say that. I am always trying to improve how I color, trying to improve things like poses. And I definitely want to do more just like gesture sketches, more drawings that aren't finished. It's just something happening in my sketchbook. That's the goal for future morning sketches. But otherwise, I've had some good sketches and good full drawings that I've put out so far. I'm very happy. So the daily art, that was actually on my things that I did that wasn't part of the list. That was a completely extra thing. So things that were actually on my get it done list, I finished the second art bat. I don't remember if you guys saw it. It was the baseball bat where I had barnacles and a starfish and rust texture on it. I didn't like it as much as my monster bat. I actually forgot to take a picture of it, so you guys are just going to have to use your imagination that there's a really cool rusty baseball bat and it's got barnacles on it. Eventually, I'm just going to take a picture of it and I'll share it online because it's at work. That's why I can't just pull it out and be like, behold, my art. I brought it into work, and that actually relates to another project. This isn't something that was on my list. This is something I did spontaneously in my room with low ventilation. So this is not finished, but this is a leather baseball. I got monster teeth, and I'm going to add like a one singular eyeball. And so I did this with a soldering iron, and I figured it was really cold outside. I'm just going to do it inside. Don't do that. Don't solder things in your bedroom when you have the door mostly closed and the windows closed. It smelled really bad, and I had a headache afterwards. So there's a lesson. Don't do what I do, kids. But this, when I actually finish this, and when I get the burnt texture more evened out, I think it's going to look really cool, and I can bring that into work too. I'm sure people are going to be like, hell yeah, I want a custom monster baseball, just like how people are interested in my baseball bats. I did look up if I can get a bunch of baseballs online for reasonably cheap and just crank a bunch of these out. Baseballs are freaking expensive. I did not realize that. I mean, for the most part, they're real leather, and there are very specific, let's see, cork, rubber, yarn wound core. There's something going on in there. I don't know. It could be full of anything. I know nothing about baseball. I just know how to make them look cool and how to make the bats look cool. So that's an experiment that was occurring. What else was actually on my list of things that I wanted to do and then proceeded to accomplish? I should have mentioned, very first thing I should have mentioned was my 2022 self-portrait. I do a self-portrait every year around January, and I want to say I've been doing it since 2017, which doesn't feel that. It simultaneously feels like a very long time ago and then not that long ago. I don't know. I feel like after graduating college, it's just, time is weird now. I had like 2 years out of college, and then the current events happened. So everything's been weird. I'm just going with it. So yeah, the 2022 selfie, I'm really happy with how that turned out. If you've seen my progression of self-portraits, which I have them up on DeviantArt, actually when I posted my new self-portrait, I included thumbnails of all the previous ones, and you can see the progression of how much more expressive my self-portraits are and how much more colorful they are. I feel like 2017 was a little bit of a blah self-portrait, which fits that year. It was a very blah year, but the previous year's self-portrait, this year's self-portrait, I really like how they're turning out, and I think it's indicative of where my art is, which is why I like to do the self-portraits anyway, because it's a good, like, here I am at this point in my life, and here's what I like to make. So that happened, and then, okay, Art Bat 2022 selfie. I actually didn't have a lot planned. I proceeded to do a bunch of extra stuff. So, Whoa Awesome Space Babe is entirely penciled. Finally, it took so long. I really was trying to take my time on it, make it really good. Make the compositions better, more interesting poses, more interesting scenery, just make everything better. And I think, I mean, I say this every issue is the best one. I'm continuing on with this. This is going to be the best issue so far, and I'm super happy. So what else did I do that wasn't on my actual to-do list? You guys saw I posted some extra videos also. The Goblin Week. Actually, let's talk about Goblin Week, because I didn't know Goblin Week was a thing, and then all of a sudden on Tumblr it's like, hey, today's the first day of Goblin Week, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta draw some goblins. So I did. There's a full week of goblin drawings up on my Tumblr. I posted here on YouTube the process of me doing the very first Goblin Day illustration, and then the second to the last illustration I liked a lot, so I made sure that I scanned that instead of having a crappy cell phone photo. This is the problem that I had in past Inktober's. The cell phone photo doesn't do it justice. So I scanned it, made it look really good. I have that posted. I'm super proud of it. I'm going to post it in here. And I did it while watching, if you guys are familiar with Jordan Perscotti here on YouTube, he does a lot of cool horror art. I was watching one of his videos when I drew it, so I think the influence comes through. I was very happy with that. So, Goblin Week. I have so much extra stuff I did. Oh my gosh. And I am having a little bit of trouble with the storage on my phone, so I need to speed it up a little bit, but I got so much done. And I didn't write my list very well. So what's next on my list is a challenge that was going around on Twitter, the Griss Swimsuit Challenge. Some dude came up with like a transparent swimsuit design, and he's like, draw your characters in the sexy swimsuit, and you're supposed to pick like your big boobed ladies, which I did put Gorga in the swimsuit. I did do the challenge as it was intended, and that was a challenge because Gorga has 3 boobs, and I'll put the picture in here. You can see how I attempted to cram 3 boobs into the swimsuit. But the original plan was I would put Nighthawk in that, because he is enough of a hoe to put that on. If you tell him, like, Nighthawk, this is the outfit that women go crazy for. You put this out, you put this on, and women are going to go nuts. He's like, okay. I can't feel my nuts while wearing it, but I'm going to put it on. So I drew Nighthawk in the outfit as well. That was fun because the transparency of the swimsuit was interesting to depict, because I was doing it with markers, and so I couldn't really do any Photoshop magic. I had to get kind of creative with my shading, and that was a fun experiment. So happy I jumped on the bandwagon for that. So that was an extra thing. Another extra thing is there's 2 different zines that I'm doing entries for. I only finished one of them. I'm going to put it in there. The second one that I didn't get to is for a Harrison Ford fanzine that I just stumbled across a call for entries for. It's like, okay, we're going to enter that. I like entering zines. I like submitting things to zines and collaborating. That's going to happen. So, oh my gosh, I'm looking at my list. Another thing that happened, I think this is the last thing on my extensive list of things I got done. This one painting, this is a Squeakoid from the Animal Crossing game, one of the new gyroids. I've been playing Animal Crossing since the very first one. I do like the new gyroids. At first I wasn't sure, because I'm one of those people where it's like, they changed it and now it sucks. No, I try not to be too much like that. But at first I much preferred the original gyroids, but the new gyroids are much more interesting. I don't know, the designs are more diverse. The original gyroids kind of were all the general, mostly the same general shape, the same general blank soulless expression. But yeah, I loved the gyroids, and so I'm glad they've been brought back. I'm gonna do a whole series of them. So all of these, this is also the result of me attempting to acrylic pour in the single wrongest way possible. You can't really see what's going on. The lighting's not very good, but You may notice it doesn't look like acrylic pouring, and that's because it really wasn't. This is, like I said, acrylic pouring in the wrongest way possible. I did not have exactly the material. Whatever you add to your acrylic to make it a little more viscous, I just kind of made something up, which I'm fine with that. But all of those are going to be squeakoids. This is going to be an oil painting of Rooster, and you can see my little sketch. So that's going to be actually my last one on my list, and then I just have a few more things painted. This one is going to be the gyroid that looks like a bong, because that's my favorite gyroid, and I definitely want to paint that. So that's on the list to complete. Is that all I did? That might be it. I think I finally got to the end of the list of everything I did in January. It's an extensive list, and we'll just have to see if I can keep up with that. Because even though I'm not working very many hours, it does take just like a little bit of time out, but I don't know. I got that much done in just 1 month. I think I can keep up with it. So the only singular thing that I actually did not get done that was on my list, I'm going to grab it, and that's my painting of Zats from Maya and the Three, because I want to do more Maya and the Three artwork, but so far it's just like, I just want to draw Zats because he's my favorite. So he is not completed, but he will get completed next month, hopefully. Knock on wood, if I can keep up the momentum of this current month. But let's take a look at what is planned for the rest of February. I want to do some inking on Whoa Awesome Space Babe. I'm not going to hold myself to like inking all of it, because I still have unfinished projects I want to do. I just say some inking. I want to do a cover for this issue, because I actually haven't been doing covers in the past. This one, I think I should start making some cool covers. Because why not? It's a comic and I'm putting it out by issue, and I haven't really... I don't know why I'm not doing covers. I have no reason for that, but there's going to be a cover at some point, and it's going to happen in this month. There's going to be some inking, and then the goal is to finish the in-progress things, so like some amount of the tiny gyroid paintings, finish that, finish that ball up there, and then the zine entry, which has to be done by the 10th anyway, so I'm going to do that. What day did I write that on? I wrote it down on some day. I mean, this is already what my week schedule looks like, and we're just barely on the start of the week, so already got a lot planned. But whenever I get around to that, that's going to happen. And then I'd like to put out more art videos. I think I'm going to do some more shorts, maybe when I paint Zats, and maybe when I work on my paintings, I'm going to post some more short videos. And I would like to do I have more comic review? I do have a comic review I want to do. It's an extremely belated Christmas special. It's a Christmas themed comic that I got a couple days after Christmas that I would like to talk about it, because I was very excited to get it. So there's a possibility that will happen. It's not a late Christmas special, it's just an extremely, extremely early Christmas special. That's what I'm calling it. Is that all I'm planning? I think that's it. It's just going to be a little bit of Whoa Awesome Space Babe, and then finish what I'm started with. Finish what I started, because you guys know me, I overplan all the time, so I'm just going to keep the list minimal, and if extra things happen, because they inevitably will, extra things are going to happen, and that's okay. But on that note, thank you guys so much for watching my videos. Please give a like, comment some random garbage, subscribe if you haven't already, because I do want to do a 100 subscriber special. I have some Garbage Pail Kid sticker packs, unopened, in pristine condition, that I want to tear open and violate on channel for the 100 subscriber special. So make sure that happens. And until next time, keep making cool art.